I want you to, like, visualize the word pumpkin for just a second. Unless you're driving right now, obviously, just let that image surface in your mind.
I feel like I know exactly what everyone is picturing.
Right. It's probably a jaggedly carved jack-o'-lantern just slowly collapsing on a cold front porch somewhere, or maybe those warty piles of decorative gourds outside the grocery store.
Oh, absolutely. Or, the inevitable heavily spiced latte in a paper cup that basically screams, like, autumn is here.
Exactly. But chances are you are definitely not picturing a vital, everyday piece of human sustenance. And that is exactly what we're tackling in today's deep dive.
Yeah, it's a massive piece of cultural conditioning, honestly.
Yeah.
The second the leaves change color, pumpkin just stops being a botanical fruit.
And it becomes an event.
Right, it gets trapped in this really specific, fleeting, like 8-week window. Its actual biological utility gets totally overwritten by its aesthetic value.
Which is our whole mission today. We are staging a rescue operation for the pumpkin. We're using our sources to strip away all those seasonal stereotypes, the porch decorations, the artificial syrups, and we're looking at the hard science.
Because when you look at the nutritional profiling in these sources, it requires a complete paradigm shift.
Right. I mean, has our cultural obsession with the flavor of pumpkin spice basically blinded us to the vegetable itself? We're treating a year-round dietary powerhouse like a prop.
We really are. And it's ironic because pumpkin spice doesn't even contain any actual pumpkin.
Yeah, not a drop.
We have to detach the marketing from the biology. The resilience, the thick skin, the dense flesh, the vibrant color, those traits that make it a great decoration, they're the exact indicators of its nutritional density.
Let's actually start right there with the color, because that incredibly bright, vibrant orange isn't just for looks, it's like a nutritional neon sign.
That's a great way to put it. It's a massive concentration of beta-carotene, which is a provitamin A carotenoid.
And the data shows that just one single cup of cooked pumpkin delivers over 200% of the recommended daily intake of vitamin A, which is wild.
It is, but that 200% figure is crucial when you understand how the human body processes it. You called it a provitamin, meaning your body doesn't just absorb it and use it as vitamin A right away.
Right, it has to convert it.
Exactly. So when you eat it, the beta-carotene travels to your intestinal mucosa. And there's a specific enzyme there called BCMO1 that literally cleaves the beta-carotene molecule in half.
Oh, wow. It just splits it.
Just snaps it right in half to create retinol, which then converts into retinol. And that is the active form of vitamin A.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the conversion because I kind of want to challenge that 200% metric for a second.
Go for it.
So I know that plant-based provitamin A doesn't have the same bioavailability as preformed vitamin A like what you'd get from liver or dairy. The conversion rate in the human body can be like highly variable, sometimes really inefficient. So is that massive 200% dose actually just a biological buffer? Like just making sure we absorb enough?
That is a highly astute point, and yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a buffer. Because the conversion ratio can be anywhere from 12:1 to 21:1, just depending on your genetics and gut health.
Wow, that's a huge variance.
Right. So a plant needs to deliver a massive payload of beta-carotene to yield any clinically significant amount of retinol. Pumpkin gives you that payload.
And there's a built-in safety mechanism with this provitamin system, right?
Yeah, which is the beauty of it. Preformed vitamin A from animals can actually become toxic if you eat too much because it builds up in your liver.
Yikes.
But with beta-carotene, your body just stops cleaving it when you have enough.
It just stores the excess in your subcutaneous fat, which leads to carotenemia, which I find hilarious.
Yes. The orange skin condition.
Yeah, if you eat an absurd amount of it, your skin literally starts turning a slight shade of orange.
I mean, you'd have to eat a staggering amount of pumpkin for that to happen. But it proves how efficiently the body stockpiles these compounds.
And it's completely harmless, right?
Totally harmless. And once it's synthesized into active vitamin A, it becomes a foundational pillar for your biology. We're talking about regulating gene expression, maintaining mucosal barriers in your eyes.
Your respiratory tract, yeah.
Exactly. And it facilitates white blood cell production. It is critical for peak immune system performance.
And the crazy thing is, it isn't operating in isolation. The flesh of the pumpkin is this structural matrix holding a really specific suite of supporting nutrients.
You got a really dense concentration of vitamin C, iron, and potassium in there.
The synergy between the iron and the vitamin C is what I find fascinating because plant-based iron is non-heme iron, which is typically in a ferric state.
Right, meaning it's missing an electron.
Yeah, which makes it very difficult for the human gut to absorb.
Notoriously poor bioavailability on its own. It needs a chemical reduction to become absorbable.
Right, so the vitamin C, the ascorbic acid, is sitting right there in the pumpkin flesh next to the iron, acting as an electron donor.
It's incredible.
It reduces that ferric iron into a ferrous state, basically unlocking it so it can actually pass through the intestinal wall. It's like this self-contained nutrient delivery system for fighting seasonal fatigue.
And that self-contained aspect extends to the potassium, too. Potassium is the primary intracellular ion in the human body.
It drives the sodium-potassium pump.
Exactly, which maintains the electrical charge across your cell membranes. Every single time your heart beats, or a muscle contracts, or an electrical impulse travels down a nerve, it needs potassium.
So by providing that rich source of potassium alongside the unlocked iron and the vitamin A, the pumpkin is basically acting as a highly effective, edible multivitamin.
That's exactly how we should be viewing it, and it's vastly superior to isolating these compounds in synthetic pills because you get to maintain that natural delivery matrix.
But, you know, for something to truly qualify as a year-round dietary staple, it's got to do more than just provide micronutrients.
It needs to provide physical fuel.
Yeah, and structural maintenance for the digestive system. So you need to talk about fiber.
Yes, the complex carbohydrate profile. The fiber in pumpkin, like a lot of its cousins in the squash family, is heavily weighted towards soluble fiber.
Which is an important distinction to make.
Very. When we talk about digestive health, separating insoluble from soluble fiber is critical. Insoluble is the bulk, it moves things along. But soluble fiber, it operates on a much more complex biochemical level.
Because it forms a highly viscous gel when it hits water in the gastrointestinal tract.
Precisely.
I always like to picture it as like a biological traffic calming measure inside your small intestine.
That is an incredibly accurate way to visualize it.
Instead of letting glucose molecules just rapidly absorb and spike your insulin, this hydrogel matrix physically traps the sugars. It delays their interaction with the intestinal wall.
It slows gastric emptying. And this is why a dense, low-calorie food like pumpkin keeps you full for so long. You don't get that rapid blood sugar spike, so you totally avoid the crash that makes you hungry an hour later.
You get steady, sustained energy.
Exactly.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second. Because the word superfood gets thrown around a lot, and it usually just feels like marketing jargon.
Oh, 100%.
Right. I mean, a bowl of broccoli has a great fiber matrix. Carrots are packed with beta-carotene. So is there actually a unique magic to pumpkin, or are we just describing why vegetables are good for you?
I would argue the distinction lies in the specific density and the compounding nature of its profile.
Okay, how so?
Well, yes, broccoli has fiber, carrots have beta-carotene, but pumpkin gives you a unique intersection. It offers that massive payload of provitamin A, alongside the electron-donating vitamin C and iron, the potassium, and that highly viscous fiber matrix.
Oh, all in one package.
Right. And all within a botanical structure that has an exceptionally low overall caloric density and glycemic load. It's this rare combo of high satiety, high micronutrient density, and very low metabolic cost.
It's the double duty synergy of it all working at exactly the same time.
Exactly. And that internal synergy actually manifests externally, too. Especially with your skin health.
Yeah, the antioxidants protecting the external barrier.
Because the structural proteins in our skin, collagen, elastin, they're constantly under attack from oxidative stress, UV light, pollution, even just regular metabolic byproducts.
Which all generate reactive oxygen species, free radicals.
Right. And free radicals are basically these unstable molecules that are just desperately seeking an electron.
And if they don't find one, they'll just steal it from the lipid membranes of your skin cells, right?
Yes, which is called lipid peroxidation. It literally degrades your skin's structural integrity. It leads to premature aging, loss of elasticity, all that cellular damage.
So the antioxidants in the pumpkin, the beta-carotene, the lutein, they act like molecular bodyguards.
They do. Because they are highly conjugated molecules with plenty of extra electrons, they step in and intercept the free radicals.
They donate an electron and neutralize the threat before it ever reaches the cell membrane. It's literally internal biochemistry keeping your skin glowing.
It's internal nutrition reflecting externally. But, understanding all this biochemistry, the electron donors, the hydrogels, it's entirely useless if the only way you consume pumpkin is in a pie.
Yeah, buried under a mountain of refined, sugar, butter, and condensed milk in a pastry crust.
That is the ultimate trap.
If you take this incredibly efficient, low glycemic matrix and flood it with simple carbs, you just completely override the biology.
The insulin spike from all that refined sugar completely negates the stabilizing effects of the soluble fiber.
So we need culinary liberation here. We have to break pumpkin out of the pie crust. How do we make this a year-round, daily staple?
The fundamental shift is treating pumpkin puree not as a flavor that needs to be sweetened, but as a textural ingredient.
Oh, I like that, textural ingredient.
Yeah. Take your breakfast routine. Instead of sugary baked goods, whisk pureed pumpkin directly into your morning oatmeal. It gives you an immediate hit of soluble fiber and this great earthy, creamy texture.
Or folding it into pancake or waffle batter?
Yes. And because of the moisture content in the puree, it actually improves the crumb structure of the pancake. You don't even need to use as much added oil or fat.
Okay, but where this really gets interesting for me is when we move away from breakfast entirely, the savory applications. Because biologically, pairing these compounds with specific fats drastically alters how we absorb them.
Right back to our beta-carotene discussion.
Exactly. Vitamin A is fat soluble, so your body absorbs it exponentially better when it's eaten with a lipid.
So think about blending pumpkin puree into a creamy, savory soup base using full-fat coconut milk and fresh ginger.
Oh, wow.
You're not just making a complex flavor profile. You are actively engineering better biological uptake.
The saturated fats in the coconut milk act as the carrier vehicle for the carotenoids, getting them across the intestinal wall. And the ginger has gingerols, which actively stimulate gastric motility and enzyme production. It's like the culinary pairing is dictating the biological absorption.
It is functional cooking at its absolute best. And, we don't have to just stick to the canned puree.
No, the fresh ones are amazing.
If you get a fresh sugar pumpkin, those smaller, denser ones meant for eating, not the giant, watery carving pumpkins, the prep is super easy. It's no harder than a butternut squash.
You just peel it, chop it into cubes, and roast it.
And roasting is vital. We're talking about the Maillard reaction.
Yeah.
Caramelizing those complex sugars. The high, dry heat breaks down the tough cellular walls, making the nutrients way more bioaccessible to our enzymes.
And if you toss those cubes in extra virgin olive oil, giving you that lipid carrier, along with fresh rosemary and coarse sea salt, it completely transforms the profile.
The rosemary adds its own potent polyphenols, like rosmarinic acid, compounding the antioxidant capacity. And the sea salt really highlights the earthy, savory notes instead of the sweetness.
I honestly think changing the culinary context is the psychological key here.
How do you mean?
Well, when we categorize a food purely as a dessert, it inherently limits how we use it. It becomes a sometimes food.
Right, a treat.
But by aggressively moving pumpkin into the savory category, it opens up daily utility. You can have roasted pumpkin cubes next to grilled chicken or tossed in a dark leafy salad with vinaigrette on a random Tuesday in April.
It becomes a utilitarian staple, not a holiday novelty.
Exactly.
And if we're talking about the whole plant as a staple, we cannot ignore the seeds, the pepitas.
Yes. We culturally treat scooping out the seeds as this annoying chore before carving.
But biologically, those seeds are arguably the most concentrated source of micronutrients in the whole plant.
The nutrient density in pepitas is staggering, especially the magnesium content.
Magnesium is a crucial cofactor in over 300 separate enzymatic reactions in your body,
including the synthesis of ATP adenosine triphosphate, which is basically the energy currency of our cells.
It also acts as a natural calcium channel blocker that helps dampen nervous system activity and lets your muscle fibers relax.
And most modern diets are chronically deficient in magnesium, right? Because of soil depletion and processed grains.
Yes, but a simple handful of roasted pepitas gives you a massive, highly bioavailable dose, along with plant-based polyunsaturated fats and plant sterols, which actually inhibit the absorption of dietary cholesterol in the gut.
And on top of all that, they provide an exceptional mechanical crunch. It's just highly satisfying. You wash them, toss them with olive oil and sea salt, and roast them until the fats begin to toast.
So from the skin to the flesh to the seeds, the entire structure is just this highly evolved, self-contained system of sustenance.
The data is pretty unequivocal. The metabolic benefits, the external skin protection, the sheer density of vitamins, it is just way too significant to relegate to a latte flavor in October.
It really is.
So what does this actually mean for you as you go about your week? The actionable takeaway here is to just rewrite your relationship with this vegetable.
It is not an ornamental object destined for the compost bin.
No, it belongs in your kitchen all 12 months of the year.
and the barrier to entry is so low.
So here is your mandate for the week. Next time you're at the grocery store, do not walk past the canned pumpkin. Grab a can of pure puree.
Just check the label, make sure it's 100% pumpkin, zero added sugar or spices.
Or grab a fresh sugar pumpkin from the produce section. Experiment with those biochemical pairings we talked about.
Put a scoop in your morning oats for the fiber. Try roasting the cubes with olive oil and rosemary. You'll be genuinely surprised by how easily it upgrades your everyday meals.
And as you do this, as you take this incredibly stereotyped symbol of autumn and turn it into a savory Tuesday night side dish, I want to leave you with one final thought to explore on your own.
Ooh, all right.
We just unpacked how powerfully the body utilizes a food we culturally dismissed as a porch decoration. It begs a fascinating question. What other heavily marketed seasonal foods, like maybe the holiday cranberry or the roasted chestnut, are actually secret nutritional gold mines, just waiting for us to look past their festive packaging?